All right, we live. Let's go ahead and get this thing shared up.
This Dr. Casual Pits. Now, I've been following your page for years, and I love to motivate. I love to inspire people. I appreciate you for using your StreamYard, by the way.
Absolutely.
But and so many of us that when we start our journey, so many of us give up in the middle of the process instead of seeing it through because the process does get hard. The process is tough, but people have to understand that you have to go through the valley before you can get up that mountain.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the thing is to just you can't lose hope. You have to keep faith because I'm not gonna lie. You know, you're gonna have those contradictory feelings sometimes, like I'm tired. I don't want to do this, and at the same time, it's like I gotta finish. You know, but the whole time you gotta let the principles override. You know, your passion for whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
Because I think the principles always outlast the passion.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
I just want to ask you because you've been doing some great things. I've been paying attention to you for a long time. You so how was the process for you? What did you have to overcome to get to where you are? And what is it exactly that you do?
Absolutely. So thank you again, Natasha. And I appreciate you for this interview because this is something that I love to do is express who I am to individuals to give them inspiration and hope and and be a voice and a tool to let people know that you can do it too. I'm no different than Natasha or anybody else in the world. It's just about how you go about, achieving the goals that you want to achieve, right? So when it comes to the process, I had to learn to focus on the process and not the results. And I think that that's where people get lost at because they start to match the process with results. And I'll give you an example. You'll get somebody they'll work out day one and then hop on the scale as if though they lost weight, right? It
Right.
do so when you start to add the process with the results, that's how you start to your mental starts to play minds with you and say, man, I told you you can't do this. But I told you did all that work and you didn't get the results that you said, that it stated that you were going to get, or people's or the claims that they put out there. So my first advice is that focus only on the process, not the results. And the reason why is because if your mind is solely focused on the process, the results are going to come by default. The results are going to come based on how much of the process you actually apply to what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So when people say, well, I'm trying to be, a 100,000 or a millionaire, whatever that number is, then focus on the process on what it takes to get there. Don't focus on the result expecting that, oh, I did a book signing. I I was expecting, I got a nice cover, I got a nice storyline. I put together a great campaign. I got a good website. And then all of a sudden, because you went through that process, the results that you expect don't become the results that it becomes, right? So then now you start to get discouraged, right? And then what happens? We as people, we start to then move on to something else. Okay, well, that didn't work. Let me move. And then you wonder why you deal with these individuals who say, I got 19 businesses and none of these businesses are doing any revenue. You're finding yourself where you're always busy and that's it. You're just busy. You're not actually completing, or let me put it like this, you're not executing on your busyness, meaning that if you're busy and you being busy is not generating revenue, you're just busy. That's it,
Right.
right? It's important, and a lot of people that are in my inner circle, when they were just like you, Natasha, they were on the outside looking in, right? Until they got in and they was like, well, whoa, wait a minute. Like, oh, you really do this. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning, right? I go to bed. I go to bed at 3 a.m. Right. I wake up at 6 a.m. I'm in the gym at 7 a.m. I'm back on the grind at 8 a.m. going through my emails. Everything that I do in my time makes me money. Right. I'm going through my emails. I'm calculating all of the receipts of purchases, whether it be my book, my courses, my coaching program. I'm going through at least 4 to 5 mechanisms of financial reports from 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning. Right. Then at 9 o'clock is when my day starts. Right. 9, I'm in the driving seat. Okay, which company? Because keep in mind, Natasha, I have 15 companies that I oversee, that I control. So I have to now go into my think tank mode to say, okay, now which company today needs 90% of my time from 9 a.m. to roughly about 11, right? And once and that's another thing, during the process, and I say this, a lot of people who know me, they hear me say this all the time. There's 3 things that you have to master in the process, not have. There's a difference. If I gave you this highlighter, you now have this highlighter. But mastering what this highlighter can do, the reason why it's yellow, the necessity that it holds, right? You have to master these 3 things in the process of you becoming great, and that is time management. You have to master organization. And last but not least, something that women love, you have to master great listening skills. Those are the 3 elements of your journey of accelerating to getting to the results that you don't need to focus on, by the way, but it will get you there a lot faster if you master organization, time management, and great listening skills. And as I was going through my daily process, you guys started to hear me talk about from this time to this time, from this time to this time, and this time. And the thing, Natasha, is it's about what keeps me successful is consistency in the process. Because this is what happens. We'll say, I want to get from point A to point B, meaning that I want to create a business to make $1 million. Now, I want you to think about this concept, right? When you do A to B, you're no different than a GPS. What happens when you reach your destination? The GPS says you have arrived, and it cuts off. And what happens with individuals that are in a success journey, they get to that place where they're content. Then they stabilize. Then they become comfortable. Then it becomes, wait a minute, now I gotta work twice as hard now to get it back. The key is there's always an A, but there's never a B. It's B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And then when you get to Z, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's consistency. The process never ends. And that's where people get it. I think they get it misconstrued when they think that, oh, okay, process results. No, it's process and the result in this, but I have to keep going because now I have to maintain this lifestyle that I created so I can continue to keep going further and further until what I now do turns into now helping other people like Natasha or all of the people that are listening on the live today. My job, I've gotten to a place in my life where my family is taken care of. 7 generations of my family is taken care of. Now it's like, okay, God, what's next? And it's like, okay, now I'm in that Moses position. Free my people. Pharaoh, let my people go. Right. And that's the new season that I'm in from the remaining of 2022 going into whenever God decides to cut it off. Right. Whenever that is. But I'm in that season now where I'm trying to free my people from a reverse engineer mindset to understand that the process never ends.
You know what, you said the best thing that I ever heard any entrepreneur say, because a lot of entrepreneurs actually say focus on the results. You said focus on the process. And that sounds so much logical to me for some reason. Like, I've never heard anybody say that, because I'm gonna tell y'all like this. I didn't start learning about entrepreneurship until 2015. I was a workaholic. I worked all my life. You know, when I moved to Georgia and I learned about entrepreneurship, you know, it's been taking me steps to like really understand it, you know, to like fully grasp it. But the majority of the people that I have heard and that I've talked to always say, focus on the results, focus on the results. And you will lose your mind trying to focus on the results. Like, come on, man. No, I'm right here, right now. You know, I don't want to focus all the way up there right now.
Yeah, Natasha. So you're a living witness. That's exactly, and this is the reason why I've helped so many entrepreneurs, because of that right there. They focus. It's the results, right? It's the results. And the thing about it is that I want you to think about who could we use? Here's a great analogy, and a lot of people have seen this on Facebook. And this is why it's important to focus on the process and not the results. And everybody has seen this image with the guy with the axe. They're digging in the dirt. You got the top and the bottom, and they're digging in the dirt. They're digging in the dirt. Well, the guy at the top, he keeps digging and digging and digging. He gets to the diamond, right? Because the process is, I got an axe and it's dirt. I'm gonna just keep digging, and I'm gonna keep digging. I'm gonna keep digging, because I knew when I picked up this axe, I was told that there's a diamond at the end. I just don't know where the end is at. So I'm gonna keep digging, I'm gonna keep digging, I'm gonna keep digging. But then the bottom guy, he digs until he gets to the very end, and he stops digging, because his results is, okay, I just hit it. Okay, I don't see no diamond. Oh, let me chop again. Oh, I don't see no diamond. Let me chop again. I don't see no. So because his mind is focused on the results of, I'm taking this axe, I'm trying to chop through this dirt. Every time I chop, my expectation, because I'm focused on the results, my expectation is I'm supposed to see a diamond, because they told me it's a diamond at the end of this tunnel. The problem is you just don't know where the end is at, right?
Right.
So that is the reason why you gotta just, if you keep focused on the process, you will look up and eventually you'll be like, whoa, I did all of that. And that's the reason why I'm so sincere. People say, and Natasha, if you've been watching me, you see I'm always doing something. I'm always everywhere. I make myself available. Why? Because I'm focusing on the process, and I'm not focusing on the results. My job is, okay, can you come speak? Okay, I'm available. I'm there. Can you come do this? I'm available. I'm there, because I'm in the process, right? And then when I look at my bank account, oh, those are the results. So then what happens is, when you actually see some results, the motivation of the process accelerates. Now it becomes that much more clear to you that, oh, so you mean to tell me that if I spoke 50 times and I made this much, well, what would happen if I spoke 150 times or 250 times? Now my mind is focused more on, how do I strategically plan the process out, versus thinking about that every time I create a course, I'm supposed to make this much. These are supposed to be the results. And it's a reverse engineer. We got to reverse engineer that mindset. Stay focused on the process and not the results.
Correct. Oh, that was the best. I'm not gonna lie, like, that was the best thing that I've heard since I started looking into entrepreneurship in 2015. It seriously was, because I always focused on the results. And that's the best thing for a lot of people. Everybody who's watching, I hope y'all listening, paying attention to what he just said, because that was just a revelation for me. So what did you have to overcome getting to where you are now?
Man. Ooh, where do I start? I think one of the most important things that I had to overcome was the failure aspect, learning how to fail. That was one of the things that I had to overcome, is learning how to be okay with failing, learning how to be okay with not completing a task, in the time frame, learning how to self-assess. That was probably the most longest portion that I had, that it took me a while to really understand how important it is to self-assess. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why it took me so long, Natasha, is because half of my success journey I did on my own, no mentor, right? So when people ask me the question, Dr. Pitts, if you could do it all over again, what would you do differently? And I would say for that answer, it would be, I would have gotten a mentor when I decided to start business at the age of 7. I would have gotten a mentor. And it almost crushed my heart today, Natasha, because I was in a location and a gentleman walked up to me. He was 23 years old. I was driving my Rolls Royce, and he was 23 years old. He came, he said, "Sir, I don't want no money." He was like, "Can you please just tell me, what do I need to do?" And I asked him how old he was. And when he told me he was 23, I was like, that right there. You have to be willing. Your generation has to be willing to ask the right questions. What do I need to do? Right? Don't come up to me and be like, "Can I get a picture?" Because what is a picture going to do? Right? He came up to me and he asked me, "Man, sir, what do I need to do?" And when I asked him his age and he told me his age, and I explained to him, you got to surround, it's your circle. You got to get out of what your circle isn't willing to do. When your circle isn't willing to ask the question that you ask, then that, and I say that doesn't mean that you're telling them that they're littler than you, or you're belittling them. That's not what you're saying to them. But you're saying that in order for me to get to my next level, I have to go to a place that right now you're not willing to go to. And if I stay here hanging around with you, I'll never get there. And the young man just told me that just changed his mindset of now thinking about what he needs to do differently. Self-assess, right? Now, me giving him that small advice now allows him to go back and self-assess to say, this guy 37 years old, I'm 23. And he told me all I got to do is just change my circle, get around the people where I want to be. So if I want to be in real estate, I need to get around people who are doing real estate. If I want to get into, opening up a online shopping store, then I need to start going to networking events that's dealing with e-commerce, right? So it's really simple. We as individuals make it hard. And I can say that because I was that individual. I made my success journey, the hurdles that I had to go over, the things that I had to get through. I made it hard for myself, all because, Natasha, I didn't want to spend that little extra money on a mentor, right? Oh, I could do this myself. You right. And I did. I'm not going to sit here and I was successful, but it took me longer to get to that success because I did not have that person on my side, in my ear, telling me, don't do this, do that. Let me connect you with this person. See, a mentor comes with resources, comes with accountability, comes with structure. So that means that if my mentor had the resources when I was ready to expand, when he or she thought that I was capable of expanding my mind to taking my brand or my business to the next level, they would have been able to help me do that because that's what my mentor is. Now, you can get to a place where you outgrow your mentor. That's the purpose. The key is and that's why I said you're not supposed to just have one, you're supposed to have multiple mentors, right? The key is that when you outgrow your mentor, it's never to stop having that mentor as a key person to celebrate or communicate with, because there will be a time and a place where you're going to need to reference right back to that mentor again, right? That's why mentorship is so passionate for me. And that would be one of the strongholds that held me back for a long time, Natasha, before I actually reached the success level that I'm at now, right? You know, I made my first million at 21 without a mentor, but baby, it was hard. It was rough, right? And in that journey, I did a lot of wrong things, and I had to pay the price for a lot of those wrong things I did, all because I did not have the right stewardship or mentorship to guide me in the right direction, so to where I didn't have to worry about what taxes look like because I would have paid them on time. I wouldn't have had to worry about legalities because I would have had my contracts all the way together. These are small things that nobody helps guide us on. Like, I couldn't just get that from the public, right? At that time, because you got to think of time. We're talking about, man, almost 15, 20 years ago, when I really got into my journey, right? People, hey, you want this advice, you got to pay $1,900, $2,000. And back at that time, that was a lot of money, right? Now they charging $5,000, $10,000 to get this information. So for me, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, I don't see how that's freeing my people, right? So, you know, even with my mentorship program, Natasha, I'm very affordable because it's a passion for me. I want people to succeed because at this point, when I give you the tools that you need, now it's up to you. Now here comes the process. Here comes the work ethic. At this point, I'm giving you all of the resources. I'm giving you all of the tools. I'm laying the land for you to just till the ground. But you got to keep tilling. You can't stop because you have to create that journey for yourself. So, man, I can sit here and talk to you all day of everything that I've been through. But those would be the things that I would key point and highlight. Is definitely not having a mentor was definitely a hard thing for me.
You said another thing that caught my attention, that a lot of people need to pay attention when they're looking for a coach or a mentor. Is one of my coaches said that her ceiling was our floor, so she expected us to rise above her. But you have some coaches and mentors out here who expect you to stay underneath them instead of rising above them. And also, you know, and that's the thing with a lot of people who get caught up in prices. People have to understand that you're not spending money, you're investing in yourself, and that's the bottom line. You have to look at it that way.
Yeah, that's the key. And you know what? That's another great way to put it, Natasha, is that, and here's the problem. The reason why people look at prices and not investing is because I want you to think about this. They taught us prices and not investing. Right. That's what they taught. Exactly. They taught us that addition, subtraction, division, right? See, I would replace, here's the thing. I wouldn't say I would replace. I would add to the mathematical institution investments. I would add credit, and then I would add entrepreneurship. Those would be the three sectors that I would add into the financial, into the educational institution, because it's needed. If I'm doing math, if I'm adding them, I'm subtracting, right? I need to know, why am I adding and subtracting? Oh, great question. Because when you decide, or if you decide to run a business, you're going to need to know how to do a profit and loss balance sheet, right? You're going to need to know what a balance sheet is. You're going to need to know what an evaluation is. You're going to need to know what an audit is, right? These things require addition, math, subtraction, division. What are investments? Well, stocks, bonds, treasuries, things of that nature. Understanding these terminologies. So the reason why people look at prices and not investing is because that's what they taught us. They taught us prices and not investing. So when you deal with people who don't understand that, they're going to speak the language that they was taught, and it's prices, right? Not looking at it as an investment into themselves. And here's the crazy part. We'll be willing to say, I want to lose weight, but it's going to cost you $2,000 to lose that weight of putting whatever you need to put into your body so you can lose the weight that you want to lose. You will say no to that, Natasha. But watch this. You have no problem with stuffing burgers and French fries and everything. You have no problem with investing that into your body that's stopping you from losing the weight, right? Again, what we're dealing, the society that we're in right now, individuals like myself and you, we have to deal with other individuals with a reverse engineer mind. We have to reverse engineer the mindset and start it back to say, wait a minute, the way you've been looking at this thing has been completely upside down, right? Let's change the trajectory and say, if you do it this way, then look at what the outcome could potentially be, right? So, again, it's just a reverse engineer mindset that we now have to implement into the individuals that are trying to get to that success journey, that they're on.
Exactly, and that's it. Mindset is the beginning of it all. You have to change your mindset. But okay, so like, what are your businesses? I know coaching. I know you do some investing, but like, what do you have available to the public?
So I would say right now what my focus is on now, and I'm not gonna share the what is the big news that I'm gonna be giving on tomorrow, but I will give a little bit of what it pretty much what it's kind of geared around for the most part. So I'm big now into the investing aspect of it because I see that that's where the lack is at, right? And the thing about it is, and I'll give an example. Back in 2009, when Bitcoin became Bitcoin, I was a part of that triage, right? I got involved, I got in tuned, I got educated, I got knowledgeable, and I stayed the course. Is the process. I stuck with the process, right? 10 years later, Bitcoin went up to $18,000 a coin. I was able to have a major role into that because I stayed the process, right? And then in 2021, Bitcoin rose again. I was a part of that process as well. And now, of course, because Bitcoin is down, people are, and when I say Bitcoin, let me just rephrase cryptocurrency. And because cryptocurrency is down, you got individuals who are not knowledgeable, who don't understand, are they're in an uproar, or there's now, oh, it's a scam, and all of these things. So I when I hear things like that, it further lets me know that there's a lack in education in the investment arena, not just with cryptocurrency, but even with stocks, right? One of the things that I tell anybody and everybody that's watching now, and when you go back and watch the replay, one of the things that I tell anybody when it comes to stocks, if you do not own a stock where you're actually spending your money at, you're not doing yourself any justice. If you shop at Walmart, you should have some Walmart stock. If you're buying these expensive Apple iPhones and iPads and desktops, you should have some Apple stock. Wherever your dollar spends, a stock should be issued in your investment portfolio. That is the advice that I would give to anybody that spends their money at any store. You should own a piece of that store. And why? Because you're not the only one shopping at that store. So if Natasha shops there, look around, baby. However many people are in that store, they're also shopping at that store. So why not have a piece of stock of that particular company that you're spending your money at? If you got kids and you're spending money at McDonald's, you need to own some McDonald's stock. If it's Burger King stock. I don't care what company it is, but if you're pumping your dollars into that company, you need to own a piece of stock of that. And if the company does not have any stock, then maybe you don't need to be shopping at that particular institution because it's not going to do you any good, right? So, again, just that little small advice for individuals, that's where I'm at currently right now. I have two educational financial institutions that I control where I'm helping people take money that they have, and I'm showing them ways to grow that money on an annual basis without just letting it sit in their bank accounts, right? So that's kind of where I'm at now. All of my other companies, my coaching program, I have a marketing firm, I have a membership program, I have 2 nonprofits. I got my own health products. I have a health company. I'm in the real estate arena. Again, investments. That's where I would say that trifold is where I'm at. I have an independent record label. I have my own suit line. So the list, I have 4 e-commerce stores. So it's, I stay involved because I always want to be able to produce. I always want to be able to produce an opportunity for individuals, right? And one of my mentees is on now, and he just listed his website. I've been helping him with his e-commerce or to make his name a household brand, right? So again, it's just for me, Natasha, I just want to help people, man. I really do. I want everybody to be successful because everybody should be. The Bible tells us that, right? And this is to nothing to anybody's religion. I'm a religious person, right? I believe in God, and that's my journey, right? But at the same time, everybody is meant to be successful, right? You were birthed with some sort of success in you. The key for me is to help you find out whatever that success is, pull it out, and actually help you along your journey. Because your journey, Natasha, may not be as hard as mine, right? Because your mind, and that's what I say back at that time, Natasha, when I started entrepreneurship, it really wasn't a thing. We're talking about 30 years ago when I started entrepreneurship when I was 7. So you're talking about 30 years ago. 30 years ago, entrepreneurship wasn't a thing, right? You get a 7-year-old now who starts entrepreneurship, they go viral. There was no such thing as viral when I was 7 years old, right? What was viral was the kids on my block knew that I was selling candy. That was it. That was the only thing that was viral. You know what I mean? So you got to think about times are different now. YouTube and cell phones, nowhere near when I was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. None of those times embodied any kind of technology devices that could help accelerate my gifts or accelerate my brand. So nowadays, you get individuals that come into entrepreneurship, they got an advantage. They can go right to YouTube. They can get some studies in. They can hop on lives like this and start getting, tips and information. So it's more open. Now entrepreneurship is the thing, right? So when people talk about, oh, well, I can't do it, or, my business didn't do this, so I shut it down. That lets me know that you just completely gave up because it's too much out here for you not to fail. That's the thing. It's so much out here for you not to fail. Because here's the problem. You got 2 types of people. You got people who make businesses for other people to spend money. And then you got the people who spend money. Either or, you go. So what happens is if you start a business that you created for people to spend money and you quit, then you go right over here to the people that spend money.
Right.
Exactly. So it don't matter which route you go. You still gonna spend money no matter what you do, right? So why not take that money and invest it into your business and in your brand and just keep going? Because you're gonna keep spending. If you was a spender, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna keep going to the same shoe store, buy you a new pair of shoes every week or every other week. You're gonna go to the club if you're a clubber, and you to the same club every Saturday or every other Friday, you spending money. So if you take that same mindset and use that same process and implement that into your business, then you'll be successful.
And that's the thing. A lot of people kind of scared to step away from what is familiar. Like you said, the clubbing, the drinking, the shopping, it comes a point with you're going to have to put that on hold in order to get to a different level in life. And a lot of people be scared to let that go because It's what they know, because
Mm-hmm.
they scared of the unfamiliar. But if you're not doing much of in the familiar, then I don't see no like I don't see no reason not to make that change.
Yeah, you have to. You'd have to. You know, the thing about it is that people don't understand that you don't have to love. You don't have to love without sacrifice. You just can't have sacrifice without love, right? So that means that, like, I love to do it. This is what I love to do, but you got to be willing to sacrifice certain things. Like, trust me, and that's the key. Like, that's a whole nother topic is sacrifice, right?
Right.
Because people really don't understand the underlining of what sacrifice really means. And I have no problem with being transparent to the point where some of my sacrifices embodied me giving up time with my children because I was trying to get to, I was in the process, Natasha. And I knew that if I came out of this process, right, I was going to set myself, all the work that I did through the process, not the results, but all the work that I did through the process, I was going to lose if I just let up just a little bit. I knew I knew that I was almost there. I was almost there. And it was rough. That sacrificing that was rough. And the mother of my children had every right to be upset and to be mad and to throw a fit and the whole nine. However, when God placed me in that, when I started getting the result and not knowing that I had the result, when it was time for me to take that final break and I looked up, I was able to make up for what I lost because now my providing outweighed my sacrifice. Now my kids don't never have to worry about I want to do basketball practice. I want to do football practice. I can pay for it. I need a new book bag. I need new shoes. I can pay for it. I don't have to say, "Oh, I got to wait till the next check." I don't have to speak or talk. It's like, this is what I want to do. Okay, no problem. Why? Because I sacrificed. I put it in my mind that I had to give up something to get to someone. And sometimes you make that decision and it's rough. And when you're sacrificing, see, this is part of the process, right? They don't tell you that when you decide to say, "Oh, I want to sign up for entrepreneurship." Okay, great. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna sacrifice being broke for the next 6 months. Whoa, wait, what? I'm used to when I work, I get a check. Yeah, that was when you worked a 9 to 5 job. But when you're
Right.
starting your own business, the only way you get paid is if now you sell a book, a DVD, a course, you get out, you speak to 100 people, you network. It's like, whoa, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because you got to remember the company that you work for, they started somewhere, right? You hear the
Exactly.
stories of, oh yeah, you know who used to own this company? There was two brothers. They started in their garage. Now look, you working in their warehouse.
Right. Exactly.
Everybody started somewhere.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. But a lot of people don't. They just don't want to make those sacrifices, and most of it comes from uh, who they're around, because a lot of people have fear of what other people's opinion of them, what people think of them. So a lot of people just don't want to make those sacrifices because I would like really have to get to a point to where I'm like, I don't care what nobody say. I don't care how nobody feel at this time. I know what I need to do for myself. And people don't, they too much into people pleasing that they lose themselves in life, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, when it comes to, people's opinions, you have to learn how individuals that are on this journey or in the process. And that was another thing that I told the young man is that you have to block out the opinions of other people. And the reason why is because, especially if they're not on the same, why are you even associating a conversation with somebody who's not even on the same journey as you? And we do it because we think that we need to have validation. Watch this now. We think that, now watch how crazy this is. You'll get 1,000 people to tell you, congratulations that you got a new job, right? Oh my God, congratulations. Girl, you're working? How much they all the conversations just go, wow, so what do you do? What they got you doing the whole night? You want me to tell you why? It's because people are familiar with that. They're familiar with that. But then when you say, hey, I'm finna get ready to start my own business. Whoa, wow, why would you do that? Do you even know what you're doing? What if you don't make it? Right? So what happens is that when we make an announcement, we think that we are supposed to get validation from people. And that's where we go wrong at, Natasha. When we're starting to do something, there is no such thing as validation. Why? Because you decided to start a business for your own reasons. You got your own reasons. It could be because I'm tired of waking up, every morning, not getting the outcome that I wanted. I'm tired of, putting in all of this work and I'm being underpaid. I want to start my own thing, right? So what happens is that now you have your own reason as to why you decided that you want to start this entrepreneurship journey. So watch this, Natasha. You made the decision without any validation. So why do you need validation when you make the announcement?
Exactly.
Right? So we get into, and this is how failure is created. Failure is created at the very beginning, where we already made it up in our mind. Natasha, we done did the research. We reading books. We taking seminars. We got notes. We pumped up. We amped up, right? Like, man, I'm about to get ready to start this journey. Boom, I got my website. Now you doing all of this, right? No validation. Right. You done spent your money. You got your logo. You got your business set up, right? You done spent all this money. No validation. You don't have to validate. Do I need to do an LLC or S corp? Do you think I should do an LLC? You think I should do red or blue? You ain't get no validation for that, right? Right. But then as soon as the makeup is done, the first thing you say is, "Hey, girl, I'm gonna get ready to start my own business already." Whoa, why you doing that, right? So we have to stop looking for validation from people, and we just have to start the process. Just start the process. Keep moving. Just move. You just got to move. Yeah. You have to move without validation, because validation doesn't get you paid. It destroys you. Because when it comes to validation, people, then what you're doing is you're opening up the door to now have to deal with the opinions that either may be positive or negative. You rolling the dice. You're playing Russian roulette at the very beginning. Not gonna happen. Because watch this, Natasha. If you just start the process and you become successful, the tone changes. Woo! I didn't even know you started your own business, girl. You look good, man. You driving that? What you doing? You see now how the conversation start versus them saying, "Oh, I always knew you was gonna be successful. I knew you was gonna do it." Right? So that's the difference. And when you just start, when you just start without validation, they respect you better. They respect you more. The respect now is genuine, right? Versus when they be like, "Oh, I always knew that you can do it." It's phony at that point. I always knew you could be successful. Didn't buy a liquor item, didn't support me in no journey, didn't send no money to my Cash App, but you always knew that I could do it. Come on now. I don't need the phony support, right? That's the reason why validation should not be a priority on your to-do list on starting your business or accelerating in your business. You don't need the validation for that.
And that's another reason why the process is vital, because it's going to show you exactly who should be near you and who shouldn't be near you. Because I'm not going to, when my process started, this process, because this one, God just hit me with it like, okay. I'm like, okay. But when I started this process, like, I was never like a real friendly person, but I did have a nice group of people that I did like kind of hang out with or whatever. But when I started this process, like they just started falling to the wayside. I'm like, God, what's happening? But after steady going through it, I'm like, okay, this gotta happen. This gotta happen because everybody is not on the same page as me, and I had to accept that. I had to still buckle down, show up every day for myself. Like, okay, come on, Got to do this. Let's do this.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, people don't. That's another thing that entrepreneurs don't. And I'm so glad you kind of brought that up. That you still got to wake up and you got to put yourself in the same driver's seat that you would put yourself in if you went to that 9 to 5 job. And you can't. That again, this is part of that process, right? Because people say, okay, so how do I start, right? Well, if you work the 9 to 5 job, they can give you a schedule, right? That schedule gonna say Monday through Friday, you work from this time to this time, right? So the difference is that you get to write that schedule as an entrepreneur. The problem though is that you can't shortchange yourself. You can't come in and say, oh, I'm gonna work from 9 to 5 like I do at my job. Oh, no, 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 no. That's not how that works. When you're an entrepreneur, you may have to work from 9 to 9 or 9 to 12 or 9 to 1 in the morning or 9 to 2. Yeah, this is the process that we talking about on today. You don't get to just say, oh, okay, all I gotta do is work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. Oh, no, 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 no. You're gonna have to work 12, 14 hours, 7 days a week now, right? The process, not the results. You just got to keep going. You got to keep going. I remember, and we're talking about, watch this, Natasha, 37 years old, but the 30 years of entrepreneurship, right? It took me 30 years to now be at a place I don't work on weekends, and I now vacation once a month for a week. It took me 30 years, watch this, of the process to get to a place where I'm at right now, where I shut my phone off on Friday evening. My phone goes off. I don't cut it back on until Sunday evening. And then once a month for a week, every month. That means I'm taking 12 vacations a year. I'm able to take 12 vacations a year. I'm at that place now in my life where I can take 12 vacations a year and every weekend I shut off. It took me 30 years to get here. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm 37 years old. Absolutely, it was worth it. I get to go where I want to go. I get to do what I want to do. Money is nowhere near the issue or the problem, right? I can relax. I get to shut off from the world. Why? Because I pour so much of me out. And because I worked so hard through the process, the result 30 years later got me to the point where I now can take 12 vacations a year and shut off every weekend. So absolutely, it was worth the process was worth it.
I know it is. I know it is. And a lot of us is fighting to like get to that point so where you can shut the world off for a certain period of time.
Yes.
But I don't want to hold you too long. So is it anything that you just want to just leave with them that's like that you feel like they can just take and just implement in their lives?
Yeah, absolutely, Natasha. First of all, I just want to say thank you again for this interview. I think it's well needed for entrepreneurs to hear. We took an hour of everybody's time, so you guys should have gotten a lot of information. Hopefully, the most important thing that I can give you and leave you with is taking the advice that I gave, some of the stories that Natasha has shared, and advice that other entrepreneurs that are out there doing their thing is application. Apply what we are telling you to your business, to your lifestyle. And that's the only way that you will become successful, if you start to take little tidbits from each entrepreneur and start applying it into your life and applying it to your business so you can become successful. Because again, when I was coming up through this journey, I didn't get that opportunity. I didn't have that, right? I didn't have any application that I could actually implement. Everything was self-taught or self-learned until I got to the place where now I got 5 mentors that are a part of my life that I reach out to for advice and that oversee what I do and things of that nature. So what I would leave everybody with is application. And of course, my quote that I always say, coming together is the beginning, sticking together is progress, but working together is success.
Exactly. I love that. I love that. One more thing I want to say to everybody is, because, like I said, when you said focus on the process and not the results, please do that, y'all, because I have had issues with focusing on the results instead of the process. So yeah, that's my thing for everyone that I took from Dr. Casual Pitts. I hope you guys take that as well, because that is very vital, it's very important, and it's more logical than focusing on the results.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys later. We appreciate you. Thank you, Natasha, so much again. And stay tuned for what we both are about to do next. You just never know.
Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
All right now.